This is the video for Science Cycle 1, Week 16, number 132, Spurt. We are going to do something entirely different from the Van Cleve's book demonstration, although it is going to have the same purpose. I will, in the comments, include a video along with some pictures of what other communities have done, just so it's a little bit more of an explanation, because I don't really want to create it in advance because it's kind of messy and I don't want to waste the materials. I want this to be something that you'll be able to make with your students. Some campuses have every single student make it, but it's messy and I don't think parents are going to appreciate us sending them home with this. So this is something you're going to throw away at the end of class time. So what we're going to do instead is create a visual representation of the purpose to demonstrate what causes magma to move. In the description in the book, you get a half empty tube of toothpaste, and you're going to hold the toothpaste in your hands, and with the cap screwed on tight, you're going to press it up in between your fingers and just feel what happens when you push your fingers around. It moves the toothpaste away from where your fingers are. That's it. So I don't love that, and I feel like we've always done that, and we're going to do it differently this time. Instead, each of you is going to get, these are, by the way, these are bags from materials from last school year. I just like to reuse things and not be wasteful. So we are going to get hair gel, which I got at the Dollar Tree, and that's going to be our magma. And I actually am pretty sure I have red food coloring, and so I thought I would give you guys some red food coloring so that you can add that to the hair gel, because magma's red. I don't know, just, you don't have to do it that way if you don't really want to. But I thought it'd be kind of, that's what the other campuses have done. And in the video, that's the way they explain it. And so that's going to represent the magma. What I also found at the Dollar Tree, these are pebbles. I don't know why they're green. I was looking for a different color, but they had green. And I thought, you know what, that's not a bad thing because you'll be able to see them really well. That is going to represent, you know, what you find in the ground. The rocks and the ground, basically, that's pushing apart, moving around the magma. And so all of the vocabulary that the book that explains is a little confusing, but obviously magma is the liquid rock that's underneath the earth. And when it pushes up through the ground, we call it lava out of a volcano. And so you'll take the time to talk about volcanoes. That's going to be some part of our science memory work, is learning the types of volcanoes and the parts of a volcano. And so instead of using the half-empty, if you want to bring a half-empty tube of toothpaste that you happen to have lying around at home, feel free. The toothpaste I have in my house isn't in the kind of tube that is, it's not like Crest or Colgate, that it shrinks as you use it. So that what I have wouldn't have worked. And in the past, we always I would just save empty tubes of toothpaste. It just wasn't doable. So, but if you happen to have that and want to bring that as well, you're more than welcome. But this is what I'll provide for you, is the Ziploc bag, the hair gel that you're going to actually, I have 3 of these. So each of you is going to get half of a bottle of hair gel, and I'll probably squeeze it into your bag in the morning for you, or have the science mom do that, just so you'll already have the bag with the magma in it. And then I'll give you a bag of rocks to it, or maybe we'll just add it for you. I'm not really sure. So this one is not very time consuming, and it wouldn't have been with the toothpaste anyway. But I'm going to divide this bag amongst 6 of you. So you'll have some rocks in there. Be careful though, because if you press too hard, those little pebbles could puncture your bag, and then you're going to have a mess of hair gel everywhere. So just a little heads up on that. But you're going to allow them to get their hands on it, but warn them in advance. You puncture the bag, it's going to make a mess. It's going to kind of ruin the whole thing. But they'll each get to demonstrate what that looks like. When they press on it, it moves underneath their fingers and it bulges out on either side. So when they press down, they press in from the sides, and they can all kind of take turns. But you demonstrate it first, discuss what magma is, discuss the layers of the earth. The science sheets are really great about showing the vocabulary. The laccolith that it describes here is a hardened dome-shaped pool. As the laccolith forms, the layers of rock above it are pushed up, just like it says toothpaste was pushed up on the tube, but just like the magma pushes up in your bag. And then I kind of worked backwards here. Magma that moves up vertically into cracks in the crust and hardens is called a dike, and that's what you see right here. This part right here. And then, so as you can see, it goes all the way through all those layers of the earth. And the sill is kind of like the little things that break off on either side. So like you'll see a sill right here, but all these little points, I'm not showing that very well, are called the sill. So that's when magma moves horizontally between the rock layers, here, 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 and it doesn't continue upwards. So the dike is what goes all the way up. The sill is what it's kind of goes side to side. I always think of like a windowsill. And then the laccolith here is the part that comes up through. It's like a pool of the magma that hardens. And that's it. I mean, it's not super, that's why I figured this might be a fun thing to do, to be more of a visual explanation for them, because the toothpaste isn't super exciting. So, but the conclusion here is kind of interesting, because it talks about volcanoes and the parts of a volcano. And it even goes as far as to talk about where the word volcano comes from. It says they're named after the mythical Roman god of fire named Vulcan. Never knew that. They are our source of molten and igneous rocks. That's where igneous rocks comes from. So we're learning one of the science memory work weeks. It's 3 types of rock. So igneous rock literally is what magma create when it cools. It becomes igneous rock. And they give us a glimpse of what's between the Earth's mantle and crust. And so, kind of cool. Anyway, that's week 16, number 132, Spurt.